What's up, guys? Crack here. Got another top 5 list for today, and I'm going to go ahead and thank everybody for suggesting future top 5 lists, and I'm going to try and get to all those suggestions. They're all fantastic, but continue to leave them. Like, if you think of something, leave it. It doesn't have to be video game related. It can be fucking anything. The one I'm going to do today is video game related, because out of all the suggestions, the one that really stuck out was Holy Kales, because it kind of mirrors my first one, and I think they just make sense to. This would make sense to follow up that one, and it is the top 5 most disappointing games. And like all my videos, especially top 5 lists, I've decided to set up some criteria that the games have to fall under. For instance, there is no retro games in this list, because growing up, my brother and I, we had a Nintendo, a Sega, a PlayStation, and we did not have a lot of money, so of course we always got some terrible games. You know what I mean? Like, we asked for Contra, we'd get Commando. I'm not saying Commando was a bad game. I love Commando, but that might be Stockholm Syndrome, because I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours playing Commando because we didn't have Contra, because, Contra cost a lot of money, Commando, dirt fucking cheap. So I don't want to revisit, the nightmare of my gaming childhood, because when I look back at the library of games that the NES and the Sega Genesis and the PlayStation 1 had, and then look at the games that we owned, it makes me sad. It really fucking does, because we had some terrible fucking games. Like, I can't believe that I'm still interested in video games, looking back at some of the shit we had to endure. But, that being said, moving on to today's video here, I have the top 5 most disappointing games from the last console generation. Again, no handheld, so we're just talking 360, Wii, PlayStation 3. And these are all games that I, at one point, was very excited about. These aren't just games that I kind of bought and was like, I didn't like it, or an obviously bad game, or like a first-person shooter that I didn't like because I don't like first-person shooters. Well, I mean, you know what? I'm going to retract that statement, because I do like Doom and Wolfenstein, like all those old ones. I actually love those, playing those on the computer back in the day. And I'm actually thinking about getting the Wolfenstein that was, came out on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. That looks cool, because I was talking about the new Wolfenstein that's coming out on the Another Gaming podcast, and I was like, damn, maybe I should revisit some of these newer Wolfenstein and Doom games. What am I talking about? Okay, top 5 most disappointing games. Number 5, this game I had paid off months in advance. I remember it came out on a Tuesday because I had night class. I think it was a Tuesday. Maybe it was a Thursday. I think it was a Tuesday. Drove straight home, probably way too fast, went right to GameStop, picked it up, and then from there went straight to my brother's house. And I mean, I think I slid in the door at like 7:58, and I was like, let me get my game. It's already paid off. We don't even need to bring currency into this transaction. And so then I went straight to my brother's house, and he was waiting. We were stoked. This game was like getting punched in the stomach after playing it for a couple of hours. We're like, what the fuck is this? It's slow. It's clunky. It's not a good fighting game. That game is Aquapazza. I know a lot of people love this game. I have heard some people talk about this game very highly. We could not get into it. We were up until the wee hours of the morning trying to figure out this game and get better at it and make it fun. And it was really not happening. So, yeah. I mean, I know there's fans of this series out there, but we could not get into it. And we play a lot of fighting games, and a lot of obscure fighting games from, like, the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era especially. That's the ones we tend to play the most. So I'm used to kind of slow, clunky fighters, but this just did nothing for us. And you know what? To be completely honest with you, we probably played it for at least 6 or 7 hours that night. I haven't gone back to it. I have not played it since. I haven't felt like I wanted to. It was just, yeah. But maybe one day I'll give it another shot. If anybody has this game and wants to like play online or something, I would be down to give it another shot. But ultimately, my first impression of this game was extreme disappointment because, you know, a fighting game published by Atlas on the PS3 sounds awesome, right? I think the last time they did that was King of Fighters 13, and that was fucking amazing. Not so much. Next game. Yeah, this is probably going to be controversial. I know some people love this game. All these are going to be controversial. What am I talking about? This game, I think, ultimately, its biggest drawback was its hardware limitations. And of myriad of other things. The last story. I know a lot of people out there love this game. I'm going to talk about why I don't like it. I thought the controls and the camera were incredibly clunky and would often be a distraction. I thought the battle system was just weird. I thought all the characters were really flat, one-dimensional. The plot twist and storyline I called immediately. Honest to God, I felt like I knew what was going to happen in this game way too early. I called every plot twist from miles away. It was like they didn't even try. I thought the main town that you were in, while it was pretty big and there was a lot to see, I just had no personality. I thought that when you actually got to leave the town, you really didn't get to go too far and explore too much. I beat this game in like 20 hours. It was really short. You know, for a game called The Last Story, don't you think you get more than 20 hours of gameplay? And I also, like, this does not define games by any stretch of the imagination. This game looks like shit. I don't fucking care what people say. I've heard people out there say, oh, this game is beautiful. This game looks like fucking shit. Are you playing the same game as me? Because I thought this game looked really bad. And again, that might be a hardware limitation. But all that being said, at some point, since this game is so short, I do want to go back and play through it again. And I think there's like a co-op option or something, so maybe I want to try that. But for all the hype and everything I expected from The Last Story, it did not live up. And ultimately, this is my fourth most disappointing game of the last console generation. Okay, this game might not be controversial, actually. I think this is universally regarded as a bad game. But to give you an idea of why it was so disappointing for me, I told you that when I was growing up, I had a lot of bad video games. You know, cheap video games, actually. Not all of them were bad. Gradius is a game that me and my brother played almost daily during the Nintendo era. Gradius was a game that there was a point. My brother is the man at video games. I'm not so good. He is fucking insanely good at video games. He could play Gradius with the Nintendo controller upside down. He could play it with it backwards. He could play it with it upside down and backwards and still get through Gradius without using the Konami code. We played a lot of fucking Gradius, okay? When I heard about this game, I could not wait. I heard some bad things, but I was like, whatever, they don't love Gradius. Like, I love Gradius, right? Like, this game's gonna be for me, because I love Gradius. You know what I mean? Like, I had that, like, type of mentality. And I was actually in between 360s. My first one, red ringed. And then it was a while until I got a new one. So I bought it, like, in between 360s. And it was one of the games I was the most excited to play when I got my 360 recently. So this is a recent disappointment. And, yeah, that game is Otomedius excellent. This game is bad. This is Otomedius not good. What do I want to say about it? Yeah, it plays like Gradius, but don't you think they would want to, like, upgrade it a little bit? Like, I felt like everything was really slow and, like, rigid, like your ship was like, you know, it wasn't like, it was weird. It didn't feel good to play. The environments, there was so much going on. Sometimes I was like, is that an environment Am I supposed to shoot that? What is that? You know what I mean? Is that the environment shooting at me? Is that an enemy? What the fuck am I seeing right now? And I felt like they just put a lot more time into like making, you know, these girls, these half-naked 12-year-old girls, like their boobs jiggle, as opposed to making the game fun to play, which I think probably would have been money better spent. But that seemed to not be their focus. I think the focus of this game was, let's make a very sexually suggestive game, not let's make a really fun game. And I feel like at first I was kind of kidding myself. I was like, oh, look at that, the enemy patterns are like, they were in Gradius. Oh, this is cool. This is like a fucking flashback to Gradius. No, it's not fun. It's not a fun flashback to Gradius. Yeah, it's like Gradius. It's not fun. I'd rather play Gradius any day. I did get through this game. I wasn't able to 1cc it, but I did, you know, get through it, and I played through it a couple times one day. It's very challenging, actually, for a shoot 'em up. But, you know, and just like Gradius, it's a side-scroller, and it has a ton of challenge, but, I haven't picked it up since. Nope, no desire. And usually with shoot 'em ups, I always revisit them multiple times, because they're so short, you know, you just want to play a quick game, you don't got, like, hours to play an RPG, just play a shoot 'em up real quick, you know, but this game, I'm not going to go back to this is garbage. Am I going to keep it? Yeah, I'll keep it in my collection, because, you know, it is such an homage to Gradius, and I just think it's a weird piece of video game history how they could take something so fucking good and make it so fucking bad. So that's number 3. Number 2 hurts my fucking soul to have this even on the list. I wanted to love this game, and ultimately, I don't know what they were thinking when they made this game. You can't even die. There's no challenge. It's not. When you take challenge out of a game, is it still a game? Doesn't it become something else? Isn't the whole point of a game to have some sort of risk-reward? Like, when you remove challenge from a game, what are you left with? You're left with Kirby's epic fucking yawn. The fucking worst Kirby game ever made. I love Kirby. This little fucking guy, this is my guy. He's a fucking goon. I love this guy. This game, get it out of here. I don't know if this game was designed for toddlers or what was going on. Like, who is the demographic for this game? I would love to fucking know. It is not Kirby fans. I'm sure there's some people out there that are like, oh, this game's fun. Oh, it's so cute. Yeah, the graphics are awesome. It looks really fucking cool. It's not fun to play at all. Yuck. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I love Kirby. Triple Deluxe better be fucking awesome, Nintendo. Seriously. Give me something. Another Wii game. 3 out of 5 games are Wii games. Yikes. You know, the Wii games were well represented in the top 5. They're dominating the bottom 5. This game, I shot this video once already, and I shit on this game so bad that I felt like it would be disrespectful to post that video. That's why I'm reshooting it, to be completely honest. Because the things I said about this game the first time, I don't even feel right putting out there for the public to see. It's not a good representation of the person that I am. It was my emotions talking. Zelda Skyward Sword. I know a lot of people love this fucking game. There's, reviewers gave this 9s and 10s. This is a perfect game. This is a 10. This is a 9. This is an 8. Are you kidding me? Did you play the same fucking game as me? You like doing that? I fucking don't. This game was work. For me to get through this game was like a chore. I would rather have laced up my work boots and tied them real tight and gone outside and do fucking manual labor for 8 hours straight than fucking play this game for 4. Seriously. It was depressing when I was going back to this game. When I was trying to get through this game, I was like, oh man, I gotta go back to play. I gotta play Skyward Sword today. I gotta finish this game. Everybody said it's so good. I gotta finish it. I gotta see what is so good about it. When does it get good? It never got good for me. This game was work, pure fucking work. When I describe a video game as work, is when Crack's losing his shit. I think this game made me lose my mind. Wii remotes got thrown far and hard. I fucking hate this game. Let me see. I talked about the motion controls. I don't like motion controls. They ruined Twilight Princess with motion controls. Why did they... Okay, some people like motion controls, right? Some people like to waggle. I'm fine with that. You want to waggle, waggle away. I'm not a waggler. Give me the option. Do you see a fucking option here? I don't see an option. All I see is waggling. Why I couldn't use the Pro remote or Pro controller is beyond me. Would it have been so fucking hard to include that, Nintendo? Seriously. You're so out of fucking touch with your fan base. I'm not even going to get into it. The game looked nice. It was a gorgeous game. Why I had to ride a fucking bird lying around the whole fucking time, I'll never understand. Do you remember rolling the bombs? Oh my fucking god. Rolling the bombs was the most fucking excruciatingly annoying fucking thing to do in the world. At number 1, most disappointing game, Skyward Sword. I want to talk about Zelda games I do like. Do you guys remember Minish Cap? A Link to the Past? A Link Between Worlds? That's a Zelda game. Mario, Jesus. Nintendo takes Zelda and makes it the flagship fucking game for its fucking gimmicks. They did it with the DS Zelda games. You know, you had to fucking do all that shit. They did it with the Wii games, you know. You gotta fucking waggle your way through them. They won't let you fucking play a game with a controller. Like, why does Nintendo take Zelda and make it its fucking gimmick face? It's the face of its gimmick. And it's because they have to. It's almost like they want their gimmick to astound you. So the only way they can do that is to make you play the games that you want to fucking play with that gimmick. I'm done with that shit. I'm so fucking over like motion controls. I'll say recently I had a fun experience with motion controls. It was Godzilla, and you know what? That was fun because it was like, you know, you had 4 of your friends all playing Godzilla, all fucking looking like idiots together. That's fun. When I'm playing a 1-player fucking game like Zelda, and I gotta fucking... That's not fucking fun to me. Get the fuck out of here. That's like exercise. I don't want to exercise when I'm playing video games. I want to fucking play Zelda. And to be perfectly fucking honest about Zelda, I'm starting to wonder if I even like Zelda games anymore. When they started making them 3D, Ocarina of Time, is when I feel like Zelda just wasn't for me anymore. I know people love Ocarina of Time. I don't. I think that game is one of the most overrated games of all time, in my opinion. Yeah. Not a big fan of that. I liked Wind Waker. That was a 3D Zelda game I liked. I liked Majora's Mask just because it was so fucking weird and dark. But Zelda is like... Sometimes I wonder do I really like Zelda? Like, you know, I have such fond memories of a few Zelda games that it, like, makes me think I have to like all Zelda games. And I don't. So... That's my fucking bottom 5 of the last console generation. And that's not to say they're bad games. Don't fucking flame me in the comments and fucking karate kick the fucking dislike button because you fucking loved Skyward Boar. Don't, you know, just whatever. It's my opinion. It's probably wrong. It doesn't matter.